Hey, just had a student bring in an icon that looks like this, and I wanted to show her how to make something that looks a little bit more detailed in a really simple way. And so I thought I'd show you guys how to go from something like this to something like this. And so the first thing that I like to do is I like to make one of these to give me value contrast. And so create a square. Alt click and drag on that square. All right, and then choose a dark value. And I usually will grab this, pull up HSB, hue, saturation, and brightness, and get a lighter version of that square by adjusting saturation and brightness. And then I grab these guys and I go to Object, Blend, Make, Object, Blend, Blend Options, click Preview, go Specified Steps. You take this down to, whatever you want in between, and you can press the up arrow and down arrow depending on how many steps you want. I want 5, and so 3 in between the two, right? That's 5. Okay, and then what you do is I'm going to get rid of all of these strokes, nasty, nasty strokes. But because I still want to see what's going on with them, I'm going to add just a thin white, but I want it to be super thin because I'm going to make it go away. And so I'm going to take it down to 25. Okay, so now I can still see where the outlines are. And then basically I'm just going to set up a series of rules, right? And so I'm going to say, okay, so anything that's closer to me is going to be lighter. Okay, and so I'll take my eyedropper tool, okay, and I'm going to grab the lightest value, and if you hold Alt, it'll push whatever color you have loaded, right? And so I'm going to push these colors, the ones that are closer to me. Okay, the ones that are further away, okay, let's say that this one is a little bit closer, and so I'm just going to go one up from that, push, push. Okay, and then I'm going to leave those, kind of a darker value. So I'm going to push them, push them, push them, push them. Okay, and up top here, I'll push that and push that and push that. Okay, so now I've got kind of a basic deal going on. I'm going to take this and, I'm actually going to give myself an additional color here. So I'm going to leave that. Let's see, what did I do before? Yeah, that's about what I did before. So that's going to be a lighter value. So we'll grab this. I'm just trying to get myself enough contrast here between the different shapes. Okay. So there's that, and you can kind of push colors. Okay, and then if you Google Empire State Building, you can see that in between each of these shapes, I've got 3 columns of windows, right? And so windows are, on a building, and we're going for kind of iconic. And so I'm just going to make a real tall rectangle, just like that. I'm going to grab this, line it up there. Okay, now you might have to zoom in just a touch. Okay, you'll notice that there's some alignment issues that we need to take care of. For speed's sake, I'll assume that you guys know how to do that and just let you guys handle that later. Whoa, come back. Okay, so then I'm going to make this the lightest one. Boom, like that. I'm going to grab it like that. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to copy, paste and back, Command C, Command B, bump it over a little bit, make it dark. Okay, and that gives me kind of that shadow situation going on. Okay, and then I can come in here like this, and I can say now there's windows and whatever. I'm just gonna make a little minor adjustment here on the spacing. I'm just gonna drag this out just a touch. Okay, so now windows in between there, those are easy to make. I'm just going to make one like this. So I'm going to grab this, make it like that. Okay, we'll grab a darker value, maybe a little darker than that. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to take this, Alt click. Sometimes you get too many controls going on, and so I've got to grab black arrow tool, hold Alt, so I get that double thing, hold Shift. Okay, I want to get that roughly the same there. Okay, we'll zoom back out. Then I press Command D, boom, 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 boom. Okay, I'm going to press Command Z because I actually want that to be more than it was. So let's go more. There we go, I wanted more space. That's good. Great. Okay, I'm going to grab all of those. And probably the easiest way to do that is to grab them. Hold Shift and undo those. Okay, and then that one. There we go. Group them. Okay, and now I can come in and I can kind of put something maybe in front of that or behind it or whatever. And so I can still come in and I can still grab maybe this one. I can go copy and paste behind, and I can tag over just a touch, give myself something a little bit darker, maybe even darker than that. Just adding little bits of detail like that, right? And then I can grab this whole thing. So I'm just going to grab all that and not that for that. Okay, and I'm going to group that up, delete this. I want to find the center of this. So grab this whole group, hit O for reflect, hold Alt, reflect across the vertical axis. There we go. Okay. And then I will answer the phone. One sec. Okay, so now I've got that in the middle, but I want to grab these again, but I grouped them. So what I can do is I can go in and isolation mode, layer 1 group, and then because that's a group within itself, I can copy that. Hit escape to get out of isolation mode, paste it. And now I've got this here. Right? And I've got another whole row of things. I want to make those darker. Let's grab that one over there. Stretch them out. I don't actually care if the windows line up or make sense at this point. And then I can make more deals here as well. So I can come in here like this. I swear my phone never rings until I try to record a video. Like every time. It drives me crazy. Anyway, okay, back to this. So now I want to come in and I want to make some of these. So I'm going to just grab one of these again. So I'm going to double click to go in isolation mode, grab this one, copy it, escape to get out, paste. That gives me that. I'm going to throw it right here so it goes right along the top, like so. Bring that down. Come on, go down past that. And Alt click. Okay, then I can grab this and that, and we can do other things with that. Like I'm going to group them, I'm going to copy, paste them back, go over a little bit. We'll do some shadows. Maybe over a little bit more. There we go. Digging that. All right. And then maybe I have something else going on. And so let's take this. Let me zoom in so I can get some of that action. All right, I'm going to bump this over. Let's ungroup that. Find the edge of that line right there. Edge of that line right there. That's great. All right. So now let's take these and copy, paste them back, put them up just a little bit. That's a little higher than I wanted to go. Right about like that. Give us some little highlights. Let's throw that in front of this. I want that and that to be on top. And go across like that. Okay, so you can kind of just play with things like that, right? And I'm going to put some more on the side here. So I'm going to grab this, Alt click and drag that way. And we'll throw this on top. Boom. Throw that one on top. Zoom in a little bit more here. Okay, so throw that one on top. Grab this. I just realized I could have done this way easier. Watch this. Delete, delete. Grab this and just hold Alt and stretch it out. So much easier. Much better. And then we're just going to grab this guy. Oops, wrong one. Grab this guy, throw him on top. Gives us a bunch of different windows. I can even do that with this. Hold Alt so it drags from the center. Okay, so stuff like that, right? You can kind of just start to add in details of things like that, and it starts to do that a little bit. And then you can always grab big things like, I don't like that these are so bright, and so I'm actually going to grab those two, and I'm going to choose a lighter value. That'll help kind of knock it back a little bit. You know, and then if you want, you can come in and you can kind of cap these off. Because if we look back at our deal, at the top, there aren't windows that go all the way to the top. So at the top of each of these, you know, and if we're going for speed here, I wouldn't normally do this, but I'm just going for speed, and so I'm just going to cap that with a shape. Normally I would clean that up and do that, but if we're going for speed, you do it a little bit differently. Okay, so lots of stuff like that. I can just grab this guy, and that guy, pull those down. Okay, so you can kind of see, and we can keep going, we can do more, and there's doors and everything else, and you just continue to flip back and forth and kind of figure out how to add more depth and more shadow or whatever. But this little deal right here is kind of cool. And if I want to take my white arrow tool and I want to go to my color swatch, I can go to HSB, and if you don't have HSB, you can pull it up under there. And I can darken this, and it's going to give me the blend or the tween of those colors. So I can even go, you know, how do I go teal to that pink, you know, or whatever. And so, and if you want to go, you know, different values, you click that one with your eyedropper tool, you sample it, okay, and you can go brighter or more saturated, okay, or whatever, right? And so you kind of mix things like that. And then you can just grab those, and you can click them through. So there is kind of a quick and dirty way to kind of add detail to stuff. And you know, as I'm looking through and I kind of flip back and forth these reference, I mean, I could put things in each of those windows, you know, or whatever. So there you go. And I didn't do anything more complicated than make squares. I was just using the rectangle tool. And so a lot of people think that the software itself is what makes good art, but that's not true. It's your ability to see how things actually are rather than assume how they are, and see past the symbol system that your brain is using to simplify things, and then translate that. And so if the only thing you know how to do is make rectangles, you can still do interesting and detailed things. Now, obviously, learning more about the software and the tools that you're using is beneficial and helpful. So if this is too fast for you, then you shouldn't be watching the uncut and raw illo talk. You should go to the vector graphics tutorials and the playlist that I have on my YouTube channel, because that slows everything down. It goes step by step and is pretty good. This is just the way that I think about things as I'm processing stuff. So hopefully that was helpful. We'll catch you guys later.